Hey everyone, how's it going tonight? Hope you are doing well. So tonight's video live stream will be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I've got a number of cars that I am going to be upgrading or making some adjustments to. I have a manifest train that passes through my scene, goes into my hidden staging, and that train is the train is I've had issues with it. Hold on, let me do some real quick. Yeah, I've had issues with that train, mostly around things like these little what do you call them? Magnetic uncoupling levers. Getting caught up in staging on like my track or whatever, and the last thing you want to have happen in your hidden staging is for your trains to start derailing themselves or coming uncoupled from each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come through here and all these cars. This one I bought used, so I'm just doing a little cleanup work on it right now. But all these cars are going to get either new couplers or they are going to get their current couplers snipped. And just to make sure that they're performing as good as possible so that they're not coming undone from each other in staging and doing all that kind of annoying stuff. So what the first car up is this really actually pretty nice looking Canadian grain hopper here. This is an older Intermountain model. So yeah, so these couplers are not super great looking, so they're going to get new couplers. New couplers are in order. These road trains that kind of just pass through my scene, I'm not really doing any switching with them. They just kind of stay. They kind of stay together, and I run them for fun when I'm by myself. And in an operating session, they have a job. They have a job to do, but it's not a. Are these the ones that are glued in? Oh, shoot, are these boxes glued in? They look like they might be. Hold on, let me look up on the internet, see what the internet has to say about this. Oh, boo. The coupler box covers appear to be inserted into the coupler boxes with plastic pegs. I had to use much force to remove them. The peg had broken off of my cover. I ran a similar covers, blah, blah, blah. I would attempt to break them off. That way you can drill and tap for screws. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Hey, John. How's it going? This is an older, or this car. Well, what do I want to do here, gang? What do you think? This is towards the end of the train, so it's not really pulling a lot of weight. Let me just try just snipping. Let's just snip the yeah, let's snip that off for now and then see how that goes. John, just to let you know, I am working on, I've got a manifest train that passes through my scene and goes from hidden staging. And it is, I'm experiencing problems with the cars derailing and getting these, these little horns, what do they call these things? I can't remember what they're called now. These little guys here getting caught up on the rails and the switches and stuff because they're too low. So I'm going through, I'm cleaning these cars up. I want to replace as many of these couplers as I can. These are glued in or clipped in, so I'm not going to replace them now. If I have more problems with it in the future, I will, but I don't want to spend all night on one car. Yeah, I really like these Canadian grain hoppers. They have the coolest grain hoppers. And I'm not really like a super grain hoppery kind of guy. But they are, there's a decent amount of them that pass through Sandpoint, so. So we're going to have them on our layout here. All right, let's take a look at height. Height is good. Man, this is not coupling at all, is it? Well, once it's coupled, it wants to stay coupled. That's good. I don't think it's coming off. Height is good here as well. And yeah, this isn't coming off under its own power, I don't think. Okay. All right. Trip pins. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, I just remove them, John. I don't bother. I don't like the looks of them. And I've got no need for them on my railroad, so I just remove them. Honestly, I think default they should be not there to begin with. Personally, that would be my personal opinion. All right, I'm gonna have to inventory these cars too because I have not yet inventoried them into OpsBuddy because I have had no reason to. Green card number 2. This is an older Intermountain for anyone who might be kind of interested. If you're shopping for grain cars and you pick up an Intermountain box, The older ones will have, as far as I understand, focus, maybe not. The older ones will have just a plastic roof runners there, whereas the new ones have these really lovely photo etched suckers. These Intermountain cars are really nice looking. We got a couple of cut lever, or no, they don't have a couple of cut levers. They have air hoses and everything on them, so they're a decent looking car. These look glued in as well. Gosh darn it, Intermountain, what are you doing? Maybe not glued in, but clipped in. All right, I'm just gonna do the same thing. I think these are plastic and these are metal though, so. And I'm not switching any of these cars. None of these cars get switched on my layout. They just kind of pass through. They go from staging to staging, so I don't need nice couplers. As long as they hold together and don't go anywhere. That's what I want. Okay, height is good. And it's staying kind of clipped in there. Jeremy, I replaced couplers on 20 plus scale train hoppers for my unit grain train. Was not fun. I should have cut off trip pins, but didn't have the patience. Okay. What did you end up doing? Did you end up how did you handle the coupler boxes, Jeremy? Can I ask that? Did you replace the coupler boxes as well, or were you able to unclip them and clip them back in? I'm pretty new to all this, so I am learning as I go. John immediately replaces scale trains. Yeah, I've only got a couple of scale train cars. I like the looks of them. Again, I'm not really doing any switching with them, so. All right, let's go into my car inventory here. And my UP manifest train. Oop, actually, I've got this under the green train. So do I already have it in the system? I do. Okay. 342. I do not have that in the system. Oh, no, I do have it in the system. Okay, never mind. Both those are already in the system. If it's on a unit train, it'll be fine. All right, I'm taking your word for it. This one, I super like this one too. This is a cool looking one. I think this is another Intermountain. So you have coupler box screws on yours? Because these Intermountains don't have coupler box screws. Hold on. Let me. Oh, you know what? I think this is one piece here. I don't want to mess with it if I'm going to break it. I don't want to deal with the breaking of it. No, that looks clipped in there or something. I can't tell. This looks like it's all one piece. Those pop off after removing the truck screw. Okay, well, let's try it. Why not? John replaced his with Sargents. I almost went the route of Sargents myself. I super liked them. I had a small switching layout at the time, so I only really was going to purchase around 20-ish cars. I thought, hey, it'd be cool to have Sargent couplers on all my cars. And then I didn't end up going that route. I think I was just trying to save money, but I was planning on doing it. And then they closed. Although you can get them now. There's a company making them. This is not popping off. Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to mess with it. Like I said, I don't do any switching with these. I'll take the trip pins off. And make sure coupler height is all right and all that, but I don't want to break these damn coupler boxes for no good reason. That's how I sand that down to get it sort of more flush. I don't know if that's safe or the right way to do it, but that's the way I'm doing it. Yeah, those Sargent couplers were work to put together, weren't they? They looked super cool. I'll give them that, man. Okay, so I've got this one in the system as well. 75135. Yep. Okay, I got it in the system as well. All right, cool. We'll just start stacking cars up here as we go. What's the next car? All right. Hold on. I want to check the clearance on these just to make sure. They don't like to couple with KDs right away, but once they're coupled, they seem to stay latched. Okay. All right. Like I said, I'm not switching with these guys. So, all right, check this out. Now, maybe you guys can help me. Jeremy, I'll answer your question on the feeder wires in a second. Maybe you guys can help me, but these scale trains hoppers, I don't know if these are grain hoppers or what. I bought them because They were super cheap. I got them on like a holiday sale. I think I got them for like $25 a piece, something like that. And they look really good. I think they're missing some data on the side. Plastic roof walks, but otherwise very good looking. Jeremy asks, how you guys solder your feeder wires to your rails? I'm getting ready to lay track in my first layout. I've seen it done a million different ways. I'll tell you the way that I do it. And I've got a piece of rail right here, so I can show you. I lay my track on my road bed, which is usually cork. And then I come back later after the glue's dried and everything, and I drill holes on the outside of the rails on either side. Thin, small, and then I use 22 gauge wire that I run up through the holes there. Do I have soldered rail close by that I can show you without going crazy? Let's take a look at my layout real quick. All right, see if I can get this to focus. I don't know how it's going to focus. It probably won't focus on something like that. Maybe too close. Here, let's just go higher. Okay, so I don't know if you can see. You may have to squint because it's not focusing well. Sorry about that. So the wire comes up through the bottom, and then it makes kind of a L shape. So it goes through, and then I kind of bend it further. So it'll come up to the side as an L, and then I bend it, boom, right into the webbing, if you will, of the rail, and I solder it in place on the outside, front and back. There are guys who will solder it. There are guys who will solder underneath the rail. I find it kind of hard to like do that and then make sure, and then while at the same time making sure that I'm laying my track perfectly over the holes that I've drilled for the wiring underneath, So I worry about laying the track nicely and getting, my curves right first, and then come back and worry about soldering my track to my rail. Some guys will solder to the backside of the webbing here, and then the backside of the webbing here. I am not good enough at soldering to make a nice, clean, small little solder joint there every time that doesn't hit my, my wheels on my cars as it goes over the tracks there. So I solder the outside on both sides here. The only problem with soldering the outside is, as you can see, there's a little bit that you can see right there. But I'll tell you, you weather it down, you lay down ballast and everything, and nobody's going to see it. And if they see it, nobody's going to care. It's just a little bump next to your rails. It's not that big of a deal. So that's how I do it. Okay, cool. So it's used for grain. So yay! I made a good choice when I purchased these. All right. Are these in my system yet? They are not. Let's go ahead and add them in here. All right. So this is 3 bay. Here, let me pull this over here so you can at least see me doing something while I do this. Three-way covered hopper, Reporting marks are CMO 22676. They are gray. They are by Scale Trains. They are not weathered. They do not have upgraded couplers. They do not have upgraded wheels. They are not weighted. They do not have do they have appropriate details? They do not have appropriate details. Okay. Can I? Okay. On to the next car. Yeah, as far as feeders to your tracks, there's a couple of ways people say to do it. I went ahead and I dropped feeders to every single piece of track that I have on my layout. That means every switch. That means every piece of flex track, every siding, everything has feeders. And I do that because I have had problems in the past where I didn't run electricity to every piece of track and there'd be a section of dead track. So on this layout, I didn't mess with it. I hate soldering more than anything in my life. I am not a fan. But I am even less of a fan of electrical issues with my trains. So I did that. And it seems like it's kind of extra important with sound locomotives because they're just really sensitive to issues with current dropping out and stuff. So as much as I can, I'm avoiding that. Hey Jeremy, if you have any questions about anything, let me know. I'm here to answer questions tonight. I'm just kind of doing my thing. So if I can help you with anything, let me know. All right. So this car is Walther's. Tell me this is Walther's car. Plastic roof walks, but man, I love covered hoppers because there's so much cool detail in them. Even the quote unquote cheap ones, they got some good stuff going on. All right. Just looking at these couplers, I'm going to replace the couplers on this because I can. These have coupler boxes so I can actually get to them easier. Let me get rid of these cars so I got some room on my bench again. Alrighty. This manifest train I am working on is 24 cars long. And a number of those cars are pretty darn long. So it's a big train. It's a heavy train. I've got weighted center beams on it. So it just seems to want to be kind of finicky. in the worst spot possible, which is my hidden staging that I can barely reach. What size is my layout? I have a, can I get you to focus? Focus on this. Focus on that. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing to focus. Oh, you know what? I need to pull up I've got like a app on here that, well, did it go away? Oh shoot, I think I got rid of it. I had an app on here that helped me with my camera settings. I had like a focus adjustment on it and everything. All right, I'll just have to do it this way. Okay, sort of in focus. Size of the layout, it is 20 feet by 14 feet. It kind of is in an L shape. Around the walls, there's no center peninsula or anything like that. Single deck. So yeah, pretty good size layout, honestly. Like, I think in some of my early videos, I was calling it a large layout. And I don't think that that's technically true. I think it's just large compared to what I'm used to from layouts, which is, I think the largest layout I had prior to that was a 4 by 8 foot layout. It is as big as I need it to be and no bigger. How about that? Look into my thing of parts here to see. Thing is, I don't have a ton of these left. I'll just buy more. Wait, are these the long shanks? Yeah, okay, never mind. Those stay. These I can go ahead and use. We need to buy more of these before it's over with. Because I just keep buying cars. Made a video recently called Stop Buying, Start Building. And in that video, I talked about let's stop buying things and start. Basically, let's stop buying things. Let's start building. Let's enjoy what we have, and just get to work. And then, like within like 2 days of of making that video, I bought 7 cars. To be fair, though, I had a good reason for it. It wasn't just buying cars because I liked them. I added a couple more industries to my operating session, so I need more cars for that purpose. Trying to avoid just buying because I see something that I think is cool. It's hard though, man. It's very hard. But I am at the point where I don't need anything else. So I think it's a little easier when you don't have to have it to not buy it. Because you don't have that little monkey on your back saying, but you have to have this. How's your grain train ever going to work if you don't have, if you only have 24 cars and not 25 cars on your grain train? Yay. All right, good looking car. That's a cool car. Switching it up a little bit. Seaboard Central boxcar by Home Shops. Had to get a Seaboard Central car for my layout because I really appreciate what Tim Garland is doing with his YouTube channel and his just experience as a train guy on the real railroads. He is cool. He is cool, and I want to little model railroading inspiration. Jeremy, I can't read your comment exactly because there's this thing in the way. You say you really wanted a Seaboard one? They sold out. I don't think they're going to come back soon. All right. One thing, taking that Dremel this close to these little plastic air hoses is a little on the dangerous side, so we're not going to do that. We'll swap over to our files. Well, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do this while it's in the coupler box, am I? No, I'm not. Okay. Let's call it good for now. Again, these cars just pass through the scene briefly. When I weather it, I'll clean up that coupler and make it look nicer. But at least I can get rid of the trip pins. Checking coupler height. Oh, come on. Yep. These already have scale head KDs on there. So that is good. All right. We'll add it to our manifest train. Box car. SC. Who makes these cars? What is the manufacturer? I don't remember. Hey, good to see you, Jeremy. Thanks for stopping by. Who makes these cars? It doesn't say. Oh, Intermountain. Is that right? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure this out quickly. Yeah, these are Intermountain cars. Okay. It is not weathered. It does have a couple upgrade. It does not have wheel upgrades. It is not weighted. Oops. It is not weighted, and yes, it does have appropriate details. So I have a column in here called appropriate details, and all that means is, at least in my mind, does it have coupler cut levers and air hoses, brake hoses? If it has those two things, those are appropriate details. So my goal is that everything that I own will have those things as a part of it. Here's a fun car. This is a car I got from my friend Alan Satkamp. You can see here is a Union Pacific SSW reporting marks. He did a little bit of light weathering with the wheels here. And he added some graffiti details to it, which is kind of fun. And I was able to get it from him. And now it's here on my layout. And it's got some damage. I think a cat got to it. So this is damaged here. And then this is damaged here. It's taken a fall to the ground, I think. I think I'm going to try a little bit of matte medium as a glue to kind of hold it together. I've actually had good success with matte medium in the past to kind of glue delicate parts together. I don't know how well it holds in the long run, but in the medium run, it seems to have held together pretty well. Here, I'll just use this brush. Let's see here. So with this, I just brush it on like it was regular glue. And it actually holds together pretty well. And unlike super glue, that kind of will like start to turn white and haze and crust up a little bit. This will not do that. Okay, let's see if I can't weigh that down a little bit. Let it dry. That should work pretty good. We'll see how that goes. Next car. I've actually got 3 of these puppies. These cool little Union Pacific 2-bay covered hoppers. I used to use them in my cement plants, but they have trough hatches. And I learned later that you don't really see trough hatches on cement plants at all. So I'm I'm not going to upgrade the couplers on these yet because I am unsure as to whether or not I'm going to keep them around if I'm going to sell them. I probably shouldn't be doing this on camera. Probably not the safest thing in the world, huh? That probably wasn't smart. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to sell these or not, so I'm going to just take the trip pins off of them and call them good for now. Just test the coupler height. Cool. Yeah, I'm not going to bother shaving these things down. They're not great couplers anyway. We just cut the trip pins off of them and call them good. These are the kind of the Athearn plastic couplers. Yeah, as long as the coupler height's okay, we'll call that good. One of these three cars, I'm not sure which one it is, but one of these three cars was the first HO scale car I purchased coming back to the hobby. It is true. We had a hobby shop here in town that was near my home. And it had been like, maybe 5-10 years since I really seriously looked at HO scale. And I walked in and I looked at the HO scale lineup and I saw one of these cars and I picked it up and it had etched metal roof walks and it had all this fine wire detail. And I was just shocked by the quality of the car. And I think it was like $25 at the time. I could not believe that for $25 you could get what was previously like, a special project that would show up in the pages of the Model Railroader, how to super detail a car. And they were coming super detailed in the box. It was incredible to me that that existed like that. All right, let me take some inventory of these three cars. And that set it off. At that point, I was done. Come on. I guess I have to say it's covered, don't I? Covered hopper, UP 219489. It is gray. It is by Athearn. It is not weathered. It does not have a couple upgrade. It does not have wheels. It is not weighted. It does not have appropriate details. All right, can I copy this whole row? And then can I paste that whole row? I can. Cool. So I'm just going to replace this with 219.336. Replace that with 219.445. Stick these back on the layout. Cool. All righty, folks. I think let's see. The stream's lasted about an hour, 55 minutes. So I think we're probably good to go. Thank you for everyone for stopping by tonight. I appreciate it. We had quite a few more than I expected there to be, considering I'm just kind of messing around on my workbench. But I thank everyone for coming by, and I'll see everyone in another live stream.